From Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 8. I am the Lord, that is my name. My glory I give to no other, nor my praise to carved idols. Now look, idols are a funny thing. In a physical sense, they're just inanimate material objects that represent something greater than themselves. In a more metaphysical sense, an idol may be a feeling or emotion, something like identity or ambition, or even a person. But all idols are pernicious and they are deadly. They overpromise, they underdeliver, and because, as the prophet Isaiah tells us, they rob God of his glory, we can be assured that all of them will ultimately be judged. Now, the reality of idols, regardless of their nature and their composition, leads to idolatry. There's different definitions of what idolatry is, but I found this particular one to be helpful. So for us today, idolatry is trusting in created things rather than the Creator for our hope and happiness, for our significance and security. There are things that occupy our thoughts, or these are the things that occupy our thoughts and our dreams. We're born to be worshipers, and we all look to bow down before someone or something. It's simply part of our human condition. So sometimes the objects of our worship are chosen willfully. Other times it seems that they sort of creep up on us. They can be subtle enough that we may not even realize the place or the significance that a particular idol has in our lives. But all idols share at least two things in common. First, we are drawn to them, I think, because we assume that we can control them, that we may manipulate them into giving us what we want. So, for example, if my idol is money, then my desired benefit could be something like happiness or self-worth or freedom from anxiety. God, on the other hand, is completely uncontrollable by us. He's kind, loving, and gentle to be sure, but he is untamed by man. His scope is eternal, his wisdom unsearchable, and his ways are inscrutable. Secondly, all idols overpromise and underdeliver. Now, we're enticed by them, but trying to hold on to them is like grasping at smoke. They mock us with their presence and their promises. That's why the prophet Jeremiah calls them broken cisterns that can hold no water. And the psalmist speaks truth when he writes, "The sorrows of the one who runs after another god shall be multiplied." In contrast, because of who he is, God not only promises but delivers. He and he alone can truly satisfy our lives and shower us with eternal blessings. Again, from Psalm 16, hear the confession of the Bible. It says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy, and at your right hand are pleasures forevermore." It's the second reality that has struck me recently. There are few things that reveal the identity of our personal idols quite as quickly as a crisis. So 2 months ago or so, when I received the first bad report about my health, all of my would-be idols collapsed. Now, I'll warn you, these things sound rather self-centered, but idols always are. So my idols of longevity, of stamina, resourcefulness, appearance, freedom, and this sort of weird goal of checking out and living on a beach in Hawaii just disappeared in an instant. Their shallowness and their worthlessness in that moment mocked me. But the goodness of those moments was that God became even more real, even more present and powerful in my life. Instead of vanishing, his true nature showed forth. For me, this has been one of the biggest lessons of this season. It's not a new thought, but our bent is towards idolatry, or this bent towards it. It's as old as the Garden of Eden. And this is a sort of lesson, I think, that we all must learn. And so I offer this as a warning, but also as an encouragement. As believers, we often know what the right answer is, but in a practical sense, it's easy to lose sight of that truth and be distracted by these other gods. So I'll simply challenge you to examine your own life. Where are you looking for your hope and significance and security? Will you allow God to expose these broken cisterns in your life? Will you join me in this kind of heart examination? The reality is that Jesus is our only hope in life and death, and God alone is worthy of all of the worship that we may muster. So may we all keep our eyes fixed and focused on him.